तस्मै तं देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासी नानावादी नगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। सर्वतन्त्रस्वतन्त्राय सदात्माद्वैतवेदिने श्रीमते शङ्करार्याय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः। योऽवतीर्ण इहाचार्य रूपेण यतिनां मुदे यणं वन्दे तं हरिं करुणानिधिं मननाख्यं प्रकरणं वासुदेवयतीश्वरैः रचितं विस्तरेणाद्य संग्रहेण प्रकाश्यते। बालानामुपकाराय मम विज्ञानसिद्धये तत्र श्रीबालगोपाल कृष्णसन्निहितो भवेत्। So now, in enumerating what are the qualifications of a seeker, so now we will change the word from seeker into mumukshu. Seeker means the one who is seeking. Everybody is seeking something. Somebody is seeking a girlfriend, someone is seeking money, somebody is seeking whatever, little attention. We are not going to use that word seeker. What is it? The one who is seeking liberation. Because he sees that it is a valid, most important, in fact, the real pursuit of life. So he seeks moksha. And that is the, not just, I have told you, it is not just an ultimate pursuit, but it is even the real pursuit. Because in an analysis we find everybody is seeking sukham and also seeking freedom from dukkham. Now the question comes, what kind of sukham are you seeking, sir? Are you seeking sukham which will end, which will perish, which will be corrupted? Are you seeking that kind of a sukham? So are you wanting to eat something sweet, which will turn utterly bitter in your mouth later on? Are you seeking to eat something? No. I am seeking sukham which will not end. I am seeking end of dukkham. Absolutely. And therefore, where one seeks, one understands that this is the real pursuit of life. Ananta Sukham. How are you seeking? Ananta Sukham. And how are you seeking even to end the dukkham? Atyantika nivritti. A total annihilation of dukkham. I don't want to retain dukkham, even the memory of dukkham. Even the memory of dukkham, I don't want to keep it with me. So he seeks total, absolute. And when a person now becomes aware of this being the pursuit of life, and then he is able to commit himself to it, mumukshu. Now that word mumukshu also changes. The word mumukshu changes into how will you gain moksha? How will you gain that moksha? So then from the teacher, from the Shruti, Upanishad, he has heard, by knowing Brahman, by knowing Brahma, I will become free. Oh. And so now, what does he seek? Knowledge of Brahma. Knowledge of Brahma is what he seeks. Knowing that truth, knowing that reality, ultimate reality, truth, one will. So now he wants to know. So now the pursuit of moksha has become the pursuit of knowledge. When knowledge is sought, this he understands. So now he is becoming more refined in his pursuit. He is tuning it up. And now so the mumukshu, now no longer we are going to call him Mr. Mumukshu. What is he? Jijnasu. Jijnasu means desirous of knowing. And if you want to know, then one has to have certain qualifications, right? One has to be prepared in a way. If one is not prepared, I want to know, just by creating a drama, nothing will happen. Just by declaring I am a seeker, this fellow wears big beads, bigger rudrakshas. I'm not against any bigger size of rudrakshas. They can wear whatever size. They can wear a rudraksha size of a coconut also. Yeah. So now he has to have qualifications. Certain qualities have to be present. Then his pursuit will become fruitful, meaningful. Okay? What are those qualities? Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadhi, Shataka Sampatti, and Mumukshutvam. These are the four things that should be there present abundantly. Sampannaha. How should he be? Sampannaha. Wealthy in that. These qualities should be present, not sparingly, sparsely. विवेक होता है लेकिन कभी कभी होता है, not कभी कभी is not going to be. वैराग्य है लेकिन थोड़ा सा है, तो क्या आचार के जैसा लगा के खाएं? Abundantly. You have the side dishes, Jim. The pickle is not main dish. You cannot eat it like rice, or you cannot eat it like, the chapati. If somebody decides it will create ulcers, just a little bit to excite the tongue, that's all. Just that much. So I have vairagya. How much? Just that much, No. How much vairagya? Abundantly available. Viveka, always present. So his viveka does not go into coma now and then. Our ability to think clearly, that viveka, to see things clearly, what happens? It goes into some sort of murcha. Present always. So how is that? Now those qualities are being told to us over here. Most of the Prakarana Granthas of Vedanta will begin by talking to us about the qualifications which are necessary. Yeah? And it is all the teachers in the tradition unanimous on this. Now, whether they have a different tradition even of some bhakti or something, all of them will insist on these things. If at all any spiritual teacher who claims to be spiritual and talks about Viveka Vairagya as not required, not important, abandon the place immediately. Just abandon the place because it is not good. जहाँ कहीं विवेक वैराग्य के प्रति उपेक्षा है, वह अध्यात्म नहीं है. इतना पक्का बांध लीजिए. That can be anything. It can be a business center, it can be very popular, it can be, lot of followers. But where this Viveka Vairagya is compromised, or even the teacher says that it is secondary, not required, just know that this person is a wolf in the sheepskin. A bad, live it. Then furthermore, this is not written in the book. This is footnote. So here we go. What is Viveka? Nitya Anitya Vastu Viveka. Brahmaeva Nityam Jagad Anityam Iti Shruti Smriti Purana Dina Swayameva Jayamanam Jnanam Nityanitya Vastu Viveka. Now I told you yesterday that in that sentence, those who understand Sanskrit, just write that Shruti Smriti Purana Dina Cha Swayameva Cha. Put cha in both the places. Swayameva Jayamanam Jnanam Nityanitya Vastu Viveka. And then put also another footnote, you can chinha laga do wahan pe. Shruti Smriti Purana Dina means Shabda Pramanehi Brahmaeva Nityam. How did you know? Oh no, I was sitting in meditation and I came to know Brahma is Nityam. No such things happen. This knowledge that the Brahma is, that what is Nityam, changeless, timeless, is Brahman. This knowledge is born only from the Shabda Pramana. From the Shabda Pramana. It does not come suddenly, some intuition, some kind of epiphany. What is that? Epiphany. No epiphany. Femi or Feni? Epiphany. No epiphany. It comes from the Shabda Pramana, from the words of Veda. Then swayameva jayamanam jagadanityam. That this world is perishable in every form. Is perishable, is constantly changing, is time bound. Everything comes with an expiry date. There is a manufacturing date, then obviously there has to be an expiry date. So you look at the medicines, you look at the products on the shelf, and then you check the date. Everything. How long is it going to stay? So furthermore, swayameva. This is a knowledge that comes to you from pratyaksha pramana, anumana pramana, etc. Okay? So shabdetara pramanaihi jayamanam. This is your experience. Shabdetara. So what is that meaning of the word swayameva jayamanam? Shabdetara pramanaihi jayamanam. Okay? Swayameva jayamanam means Shabdetara pramanaihi jayamanam. Nityanitya vastu vivekaha. Furthermore, iha srakchandanadi vishaya bhogaha amutra apsarastri vishayadi bhogascha iti ubhayam api anityam iti Ashwa Vantashana Mutra Purishadi Vattatra Vairasyam Ihamutra Phalabhoga Viragaha. Sometimes those who are extremely Vishayasakta, given only to sensual appeasement, they don't like some things like this topic. Swamiji, this is very harsh. Why are they so much against it? No one is against anything. You understand what the problem is. So here, iha, in this world, iha loke means asmin loke, in this world, asmin loke, srak chandana. Srak means, in the olden days, people used to decorate themselves with garlands of flowers and all those things. And then anoint the body with sandalwood oil and all these things. Srak chandana. Okay. Adi vishaya bhoge. These are all various objects of enjoyment of this world. Objects of enjoyment of this world. Srak chandana adi vishaya bhogaha. Okay. Then we may not want these. Then what do you want? This fellow says, well, he wants to blow himself in public, become a human bomb. For what? I will go to the heaven and I'll have many more girlfriends there. Because God has promised me that He will give me nice women. So I want to go there. Srak chandana adi vishaya bhoge iha loke. So he does not want things from this world. Then from where? From the other world. So do you see that this fellow, there is not much change. There is not any paradigm shift in the cognitive thinking, cognitive process. It's same thing. He was asking for things over here. Instead of saying that I don't want these, I want those better things. What difference has it made to him or to the world? In fact, we see one terrorist is created. Nothing more than that. So, Apsarastrihi. There are these, now they are going to talk about those beautiful men, women, whatever, okay? So, talking about Apsarastri. Those nymphs of the heaven. Nymphs. How are they? Oh, they are very delicate, they are beautiful, when they walk like some Rajahamsa and things like that. There are various descriptions. I don't know how Rajahamsa walks. Rajahamsa means, what do they call it? Not geese. Geese only? Swans. Yes. Swans, not geese. Now, do they really walk anywhere different than ducks?
They float.
Oh, they float. Oh, yeah. So these women in the heaven, they flow. Apsarastrihi Vishayadi Bhogascha. And I don't want that. Because ultimately everything, all these things will end in a bitter test. I don't want it. Bhogascha. Iti ubhayamapi, both these things, the objects of this world or of the other world, don't try to entice me. Don't try to entice me. They cannot cast a spell on this fellow now. Bhogascha iti ubhayamapi anityam. He says, whatever it is all ubhayamapi anityam. Iti shvavant. Now, I'm going to just translate what is written by that author. And it is in strong words. So if you like it, it's fine. If you don't like it, I'm helpless. So, I'm not going to justify or change or modify just because somebody should like it. The thing is that I can at the most make an attempt to make you understand. Shvavanta means the vomit of a dog. The dog pukes. No, anybody who sees the dog puke never feels, it's so nice, right? I should keep it. The first puke of my dog, let me keep it, memory. What do? You throw it away. Nobody has any shobhana buddhi in objects like this, shvavanta. Then he says, yesterday my dog had eaten ice cream. Today he has had, a bad stomach. His poop is watery. So nice, right? Mutra purishavat. And nobody wants. Tatra vairasyam. Nobody has any shobhana buddhi. What a nice thing is it. Nobody has that kind of an understanding. Swamiji, you don't know. I have still maintained the poop of King Edward. Please. It is who, Edward or anybody, just so what? Even nobody has, I have kept it safely in the locker. Flush it down. Mutra purisha shvavantavat tatra vairasyam ihamutra phalabhoga viraga. This is what is called as vairagyam. Okay, furthermore. We can discuss a lot about this, but this much is enough. It is actually, the word vairagyam is, I have often explained, as maturity. As maturity. Whenever you are going to invest your happiness in objects outside, the fact is, if that object was really capable of making you happy, it should have made you happy always, and it should make everyone happy. So the value of happiness which you are associating with that object doesn't belong to the object. It is given by you to that object. And when you are able to see this very clearly, it is my own imagination. By my imagination, I am calling this is the source of happiness. Just this discrimination allows you to have the maturity that you can free your happiness. So now your happiness is not bound by the object. Is not bound by the object, and therefore this person is free to be happy whenever he has to be. His happiness is not dependent on that object. When you say my happiness is dependent on the object, that means it is not a source of happiness. That object has become a source of your misery. You understand? when you say it is dependent on that object, the object has not become your source of happiness, it has become a source of misery, because that object is not going to be available all the time. And if it is not available all the time, that means you are going to be miserable in those times. So has it become a source of happiness or has it become a source of misery? So now the person, this is your maturity, and this maturity is vairagyam. Not to make the happiness dependent on anything. And therefore, this is very much required for the student of Vedanta. Oh, Swamiji, no, we should have something else. This is the qualification required. Furthermore, Shama Dama Uparati Titiksha Samadhana Shraddha Iti Shamadhi Shatakam. Yesterday we discussed that he requires to have the spiritual wealth which is sixfold. The sixfold spiritual wealth. What is that spiritual wealth? Now you see, in all these things, spiritual wealth or spirituality does not mean strange experiences. We are not talking about strange experience. Somebody says, oh, I saw some lights flying here and there. He forgot that there are fireflies. Spiritual experience. Swamiji, I saw that spiritual experience. What spiritual experience? I was sitting over there and night somebody woke me up. Somebody woke me up. Hey, that was your father only who woke you up. And it was not night because you were sleeping too much. It was already daytime. But spiritual experience, what? Strange experiences are called as spiritual experience. We are not talking about this kind of a thing as spiritual wealth. What is spiritual wealth? Shama. Beginning with Shama. So things that are to be counted here are Shama, Dama, Uparati. Just enumerate them. Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam. These are the 6 things. Shamo Nama, what is called as Shama? Shamo Nama, but Swamiji, why is it written Shamo? It should be Shama, Shamo. And this is the Sandhi rule. The grammar. Otherwise, you will think Shamo is some Punjabi girl. Like Rajjo, Shamo. Shamo Nama, Shravanadi Vyatiriktebhyaha Nivartyatmani eva Shravanadi Vishaye Manasaha Sthapanam. The ability to withdraw the mind from various objects and employ it in Shravana Mannana Nididhyasanam. What are you doing with this mind now? Not only that it is withdrawn, Shravanadi Vyatiriktebhyaha Nivartya. Now to withdraw the mind from all the various objects and then place it where? In Shravana Mannana Nididhyasanam. This is called as Shama. Okay? Shamaha. Manasaha Sthapanam. And it is how? Sthapanam. Sthapanam means to install it, to establish it. I have withdrawn, but then, the mind is 1 minute. I had brought it out from everywhere only to be in the class, Swamiji, to listen to Vedanta. But what to do when I was sitting over there, my mind took a tangent. It was flying everywhere. Now, to stay put over there, that is called as Shama. Then further. Damaha. Jnana karmendriya nigraha. Shama is called as nigraha. control. Dhamma is also called as control. Control over here is not to become some control freak. So now Shama is the control of the inner equipment. If you do not have control on the equipments that you have, then you are not a master. You are a helpless person. So we are endowed with the equipment of body, the equipment called as mind, the various equipments to detect the world, Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha. So these are your Jnanendriyas, the organs of knowledge. And then you have organs of action. These are the various equipments that we have. Now, when you have the equipments, one should be able to decide how to use it. If one does not know how to use it, then it is a total mess. You may have it, but it becomes a liability. It is no longer an asset. It is a liability. It will become a trouble, a pain. Like some people have got this, what do they call, the computers, laptops. If we do not know how to use it properly, now you can have the best of computer, but then I have all books, but I can't open the computer only. It is a liability. So like that, we have these equipments called as the organs of action and organs of knowledge. So Jnanendriya and Karmendriya, Nigraha, one should be able to decide where it can be put to use. Where not to. One day, what happened was, there was this meeting of the Bharat Sadhu Samaj. It was an organization of all the monks only, sadhu people. Big association, and they had collected a lot of money for some temple or something to be done. Now, at that time, Maharajji was the president of this Bharat Sadhu Samaj for that time, in that tenure. Swami Akhandananji Maharaj. Now, so a list was being read out of all the people who have, made the collection and donations. Somebody's name, by mistake, got left out. Now this fellow became very annoyed, very angry. So in that very meeting, thousands of people are there. This fellow took the mic and said, he started, abusing Maharajji. So Maharajji was sitting over there, and so Maharajji was also favorite amongst the monk community also. So Maharajji just sat with his eyes closed. After 10-15 minutes, there was a big chaos because people wanted to beat this fellow. Some of them were supporting him, and there was a chaos in general. So Maharajji kept his eyes closed and then finished. After that, when the mic came to Maharajji, they brought in Maharajji, mic, ab boliye. And Maharajji started the discourse, even without a sign of the chaos that this fellow, or without any what do they say? So when that was brought, he just opened the eyes and said, Acha, shuru kare. So somebody asked, Maharaji, how could you do that? And not affected at all. Maharaji said, हमने तो आँख कान बंद कर लिए. I closed, I had withdrawn. So this ability to withdraw the organs where it is not required, to employ it where it is required, then is the mastery over the equipment. So this is called as Dhamma. What is Dhamma? Jnanendriya Karmendriya Nigraha. Furthermore, Uparatir Nama Sannyaso Nishkama Karmanushtanam Vyavahara Lopova. Now this word Uparati also has got actually Dhamma or Shama is pacification of mind. What is called Shama? Pacification of mind. When the mind is disturbed, why is it disturbed is not our question. It is disturbed. His mind is disturbed because he did not get tea. Your mind is disturbed because you got tea but the sugar was more. Then somebody's mind is disturbed because the sugar was not just enough. There are 1,000 things that can disturb your mind. Somebody can be disturbed. Why did he look at me like that? Enough. Why did she not smile at me on last Monday? Since last Monday till today, this fellow is disturbed. Now, you could have all the reasons in the world to be disturbed. How quickly are you able to pacify it? How quickly are you able to come to an equilibrium is important. Now if you say that I am disturbed and that's why everybody should have sympathy for me, then this fellow is just a beggar in the life. Penury. And he'll not gain anything. Because just seeking attention, everybody should have sympathy for me because I'm disturbed. Hey, disturbed, everyone is disturbed, sir. But how quickly are you able to bring it to an equipoise? To stay on that fulcrum of balance, even if it moves, come back. It's okay. But to stay as a pendulum from one place with swings is not what is required. We require a student, a person with Shama, with the ability called as pacification of mind. How quickly is one able to pacify even the organs of action and organs of knowledge? Or do these organs always remain very disturbed? This is Dhamma. Then furthermore, Uparatihi. Uparati, Rati means, you know the word Rati. Rati is the consort of Kamadeva. In other theologies and in the depictions, Renaissance, this Cupid is little baby, who doesn't even tie a diaper around the waist. But this baby is an ace archer. This fellow does not know how to tie a diaper, but he is an archer. So they show this baby with the wings flying around, throwing darts. and making people fall in love. Innocent. That means innocent. In the Puranic literature of the Hindus, this Cupid is not an innocent little baby. This fellow is a nice, big, robust man. Okay? And he has a consort. Her name, his wife, her name is Rati. Rati means, the word Rati means to revel, to enjoy, to revel. That is called as Rati. Okay. The word here is Uparati. Who's Uparati? Her elder sister. Rati and Uparati. Upa means to sit above, not to be involved, not to be, to see the distance, to have that space. So Uparati is also kind of a withdrawal. How is it? Sannyasaha. One meaning of the word Uparati is, now you have seen what is the meaning of word sannyas. Also, sannyas just does not mean that wear some orange clothes and start roaming about for free lunches and dinners. That is not sannyasa. Sannyasa means when a person is able to have a resolution that I do not want putra vitta loka. Putreshanayaha vitteshanayaha lokeshanayahascha vyuthaya brahmanaha vividishanti. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, these are the three desires. All the desires can be put into these three categories. Putreshana, for progeny, desire for progeny. Now, desire for progeny will include, you cannot have progeny without wife. And there is not going to be any wife coming to you, any woman, if you don't have sufficient money or a job. You have to have. So, putreshana. Vitteshana is desire for fame, wealth, popularity. All this is vitta. And lokeshana. Loka is paraloka. So that one day I can reach, after my death, I can go to heaven. Lokeshana. When a person is able to rise above this, that I do not want it. Now those people who say, I don't want heaven. Not wanting heaven is not sufficient. What about property over here? That I want. Hey, you can't get above this, and you are saying that you have given up heaven. Have you even seen the property in the heaven? No. Who's going to give you then? You can give up something only if you own it. This fellow does not even have that much punya to go to heaven, but he wants to say that he has given up heaven. No. First get above all these things over here, and then, because he does not have desire for these things, even the sadhanam, the means to acquire these putra vitta loka. What is the means to acquire putra vitta loka? Karma. Can you get putra vitta loka without karma, without any action? No. So, but say suppose you do not want putra vitta loka, the means to get putra vitta loka, will that be kept with you? No, I don't need it. And therefore, there is even giving up renunciation of karma. So, that what is the sadhyam, that what is attained through karma, the karma phala, is not desired, and therefore even the means to attain it is also renounced. This renunciation is over here called as sannyasa. Sannyasa is just not, one starts living in an ashram, washing his own clothes. That kind of just a lifestyle is not called as sannyas. Sannyas is not just a lifestyle, but that lifestyle has to be designed, it has to emerge out of some understanding. It is a reflection, the lifestyle is only a reflection of the inner state that one has. Otherwise, there is no sannyas. Oh, we are living in ashram and that's why we are sannyasis. Because we go for sadhu bhandara, that's why we are sadhu. Bhandara is just a party. Bhandara is not meant so that because you are sadhu. That does not prove you are sadhu. That just proves that you can eat well. You have got good digestion. Sannyasa. This is one meaning of word uparati. Nishkama karma anushtanam. But Swamiji, we are householders. We have some responsibility of the wife, of the children. I still have my parents. What? Over there, the meaning of word uparati is nishkama karma anushtanam. To do your duties. How do you... So, karma is done. Karma is not given up because you are still doing your duties, what you are supposed to do. Okay? So, karma anushtanam is there. But you are doing the karma duty not out of any sense to gain anything from it. But then why are you doing it? Because he sees that this is the way, my way to worship Ishvara. Okay? It is not done, the kartavya karma, that what one is supposed to do is not done with an idea to fulfill any desires. So it is nishkama. But another aspect of it is, then why are you doing it? Because this is the way Ishvara is worshipped. How the Ishvara pujanam is done now? Swakarmana eva. Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, Swakarmana tamabhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. Siddhim over here is accomplishment of life. Siddhi is not, some special abilities to read your mind, to predict the future. Such Daridra Siddhi we are not interested. What is Siddhi for Shri Krishna? He says, how are you going to find your life fulfilled? There is a very interesting story in life of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. You must have heard about it. One day, he used to live on the bank of Ganga. Okay? And this is something not very, very far away, just about 100 years or little over 100 years. I think he passed away somewhere in 1885. It's not, very old story. So, one sadhu came to him and he said, I want to show you something. And the Ganga in Calcutta is not as small as we have it in Rishikesh. Because it is plains, so the water has spread. It goes everywhere. So, this sadhu came to him and he said, I want to show you. what did he do? He took Ramakrishna and he walked over the water to the other shore and came back. Like you are walking here on the earth, on the ground. He walked on the flowing water and deep. It did not wet even his ankles. So he came back. And he said, this is what I have gained after 25 years of sadhana. 25 years of continuously straining myself to achieve this siddhi, this particular feat. Ramakrishna was a simple man. He said, to cross the river without wetting your ankles, I do that in 25 paisa if I pay the boatman. I do it just in that 25 paisa, I can cross the river and come back. You have spent 25 years doing this. Instead of that, you should have done Ishvara Bhajan. You would have had the vision of the God. Oh, you wasted 25 years. So Shri Krishna, when we are talking about Siddhi, we don't talk about some small thing like this. Over there, Siddhi means accomplishment, fulfillment of life. How are you going? Siddhim vindati manavaha. The people, human beings, how will you attain the fulfillment? By doing your own karma. That what is meant for you to do. Kartavyam. Okay? That what is meant to be done. And then how do you do it? Not so that some desire is fulfilled. So it is nishkama. It is not meant for desire fulfillment. Then what is it meant for? Ishvara Radhana. It is meant for to worship. This is the way Paramatma is worshipped. Swakarmana tamabhyarcha. Swakarmana tam abhyarcha, tam Ishwaram abhyarcha, siddhim vindati manavaha. This is what he says. Now, so over here, nishkama karmanushtanam. What is the other meaning of word uparati? To do your own work, karma, as Ishvara's worship. Not meant to gain little money, little popularity, little power, little position, little recognition. This is too small. That karma can bring you to the doorstep of God. Instead of that, you are using that karma to reach some rich man's house. Through that karma itself, you could have gained the vision of God. Instead of it, what are you using it for? To gain these small things. One of the teachers that I was studying from, he used to say this. It is like having an elephant and employing it to plow your kitchen garden. What are you growing these days? Coriander. Some coriander. Cilantro. By how? By making the elephant plow my kitchen garden. Hey, this is your elephant. In the olden days, it was used as a battle animal. You could win battles. If you had an elephant, it could go smashing about the army. But you are using it to grow some cilantro. Karma, you have karma with you, which is a great, you are endowed with the ability to do the karma. But what is it used for? To do small things. A little money, little security, little pleasures, little recognition. Too small. So this is Nishkama Karmanushtanam Vyavahara Lopova. And then finally, the third meaning of the word Uparati is the person has given up every other form of involvement with the world. Then what is he doing? Now totally given to Samadhi Abhyas, given to the practice of Samadhi. Such a person, and then you cannot give yourself to Samadhi Abhyas if you are going to be doing several things. And therefore Vyavahara Lopa. What is it? This Vyavahara Lopa, giving up of involvement, is not because the person is lazy. Not because he is lazy. Because he wants to employ that time, that energy in the practice of Samadhi. So that's why there is Vyavahara Lopa. So now you have three meanings associated with the word Uparati. What are the three meanings? The first primary meaning is Sannyasa. The second meaning is Nishkama Karmanushtanam. And the third meaning is Vyavahara Lopaha. Okay? Got it? Furthermore, Titiksha Nama Prarabdhagata Shitoshnadi Sahanam. Now, Titiksha means the ability to endure, the ability to endure, sahan karna. How many things can you really control? How many things can you control? And if whatever you can control, you will control. But you will always find that there are more factors which are out of your control than what you can control. Isn't it? And when there are things which are outside the scope of your control, what have you got to do with it? Feel frustrated? Feel frustrated in life? Dejected? No. Over there one should have this. This is a positive quality called as endurance. To endure, to forbear. So endurance or forbearance, sahan karna, sahan shakti is a virtue. Now you are sitting over here to listen to Vedanta. On a cold morning, you have to leave the blanket. It requires some titiksha or not. Don't please. Then I suppose you take bath and come. So you got to stand in the bathroom under the tap. That also is titiksha. You got to sit over there on the floor. This is not Dunlop. So you don't have softs. It is pricking. You have to forbear. And then why are you enduring this kind of a torture? Swamiji, this is not torture. Do you love torturing yourself? That's why it is nice to you? No, we understand. It is difficult. But why are you doing? So that I can listen to it. Then this becomes titiksha. Whether you want or you don't want, winter is there for all of us. And as long as you are going to have skin, you are going to feel cold. It's very It's very, Are Baba hai. So now what? Life should stop because it is cold? Then you will have everything to stop life. Because it is cold, I cannot do Vedanta. Because it is very hot, I cannot study. Because it is raining, I cannot. Because there are mosquitoes, I cannot. Because there is... Not because. In spite of. In spite of should be the philosophy. In spite of the cold, we will study. In spite of the heat, we will give ourselves to the practice. In spite of the stomachache, headache or whatsoever, we still will. If you can, or if these small little things are going to take you away, then there is no titiksha. Then there is no titiksha. The student of Vedanta needs titiksha to endure every kind of all the polarities. Shita, Ushna, this is physically. Mana, Apmana, success and failure. Mana, Apmana means, praise and censure. I'm disturbed, bear it, endure it, and then come. Sahanam sarvadukhanam apratikara purvakam chinta vilaparahitam satitiksha nigadyate. What is called as titiksha is this. Sahanam sarvadukhanam. Sahanam, dukkha to aayega. What is going to be the cause of your dukkham? Irrelevant. Dukkha hai. Who does not have? Who does not have dukkham? Everybody has dukkham. Even if it happens to be Dashratha, who is Rama's father, he also has to have dukkham. Even if it is Swayam Sita, she also has to have dukkham. Who does not have to undergo dukkham? You tell that first. The very fact that we are born in the world, which means that we are subjected to dukkham. Hai na? Yeah. So sahanam. Now this should not dissuade, what is the word? Dissuade. This should not dissuade us from our laksha, from our goal. That ability is titiksha. Prarabdha gata shitoshnadi sahanam. Prarabdha means now, the past karmas have brought all these things. It will happen. Samadhanam naam shravanadi anukula vishaye manasaha samadhi. Now samadhanam is to keep the mind focused. Focused on what? What others are doing. To keep the mind focused on what? Shravana Mannanam Nididhyasanam. What others are doing is not our concern. What are we here for? To stay focused on that. To stay focused on Shravana Mannana Nididhyasanam. This is called as samadhana. The word samadhana and samadhi, they both have the same verbal root. It is, and samadhi also means to stay focused, to gather, to stay ekagra. Okay? So now, these are the 6 qualities. What were they? Not what were they, what are they? As shama, pacification of mind. Dhamma, pacification of the organs. Uparati, uparati means sannyasa, nishkama karmanushtanam, vyavahara lopova. Huh? These are the three main. So uparati. Then titiksha. And then the fifth one, samadhanam. Now the last one is shraddha. And I have been talking about it.
Swamiji, Titiksha and Tapas are the same practices?
Tapas will have titiksha.
Tapas will have Titiksha. So are they then different practices to some extent?
Of course. Titiksha is an attitude. Tapas is an activity. Chandrayanadi vratam are called as tapa.
But the word is, the practice of tapas is also explained as enduring
The endurance comes, but what are you enduring over there?
dwandvas. All the dwandvas, even physical, mental.
That is there. But in that tapa, it means following certain spiritual or religious discipline. Like somebody is doing, he is fasting. Someone is fasting. That day I will not eat, or I will only survive on water that day. So, will he not feel hungry? He is going to feel hungry. He will have to endure the pangs of hunger then. There is endurance involved. Okay. That tapa is endurance in following the discipline. Then it becomes tapa. Okay. So that's how you have this Chandrayana Vrata and various vratas are there. So endurance during those disciplines is there, you see, following those disciplines. But we are just talking about endurance in general now. Not only for those disciplines. Now there is, when one does the sankalpa of puja or any other discipline, let us say he is sitting for doing some fire ritual. That means now, as vratastha, this person says, I will not get angry. Now, no matter what comes, he simply has to endure it, not to feel angry, not to get angry. He has to endure. Okay. Endurance is a part of the vrata, of the discipline. But we are here talking about endurance as a general quality. Alright, so what is Shraddha? We will discuss this, other things tomorrow. Om Purnamataha not tomorrow, in the afternoon. Om Purnamataha Purnamidam Purnāt Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakratau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinam Murtaye Namaha. Om.